weird lately. Of course, that is just like always. Always it's weird, my hair. But I feel like it's weirder than normal. I got a haircut the other day and like the whole texture of my hair changed. And also she cut a cowlick. It's starting to go away, but there's like a cowlick wave right here. I don't have a cowlick there. What did she do to me? She was a very nice lady, but I don't know what happened to my hair. Anyway. So that's what's going on. My glasses are wet from all this rain. I'm trying to see if I have a glasses cleaner thing, which I do. So nobody's here. I'm just basically talking to myself. I do feel kind of chatty today. It's been like very rainy the past couple days, very spring-like rainy weather. And I don't know what to say about that, but I saw a rainbow today. So that was sweet. And I woke up this morning and like a movie scene popped into my head, like wrote itself in my head. It was kind of funny. Maybe I will share it. And also, like, I had 3 notifications from Instagram, and one of them was about a post from Simon Rex. So I don't know, if you know, you know. Simon Rex was an MTV VJ back in the 90s, like when I was in high school. I graduated in 1999. But that was kind of random. I had a crush on Simon Rex back in the day. He's pretty cute even now. Because I looked at his Instagram. I guess he's doing acting now, but maybe he was doing acting back then too. But anyway, he was an MTV VJ, and I feel like that is what he's most famous from, being an MTV VJ in the 90s. But I'm like, I feel like the Instagram algorithm has sorted me generationally with this recommendation. They have sorted me as a Gen X, a late Gen X. Because I'm on the cusp. I was born in 1980, so I'm like a cusper generationally. Looks like I've got one person watching, and I just got a second thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up. I feel like I don't get a lot of thumbs up. 2 people watching. I don't get a lot of thumbs in my live stream. Hello, Tress. Good morning. I think it is probably still kind of technically morning. What time is it? Yeah, it's not noon yet, at least where I'm at. Getting there, almost. So anyway, I was saying I was born in 1980, which is like the year that, it's like the cutoff year. It's like cusp year generationally from Gen X and millennials. Like, I just feel more like a Gen X personally. And I feel like this morning, the Instagram algorithm agreed with me. I guess some of the older millennials would also remember Simon Rex from MTV. But, yeah. The good old days of MTV. The TRL days. I guess Simon Rex was a little bit before TRL though. At EK. And then there's like Kennedy. So this is random. Kennedy, maybe the most well-known MTV VJ. I don't know. Is on Fox News now. Well, she has been in a while, but it's just kind of random. But that also says, like, she is, I believe, solidly Generation X, but like, I don't know, just kind of confirms this idea that Generation X tend to be more conservative or like independent thinkers politically. And she does strike me that way on Fox News. Like, she's not like Fox News conservative lemming, you know, like she does come across as like an independent thinker. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of Generation X being like wanting to think independently and not just like get into the herd mentality. I think it's sad, the herd mentality, because people get so convinced. And I think we started seeing it more with the millennial generation, but with this idea of there being these, well, it's like the social credit score, basically. Good morning, Kurti. It's kind of like a social credit score, I feel. Like people are like, these are the acceptable points of views to have on everything. And if you don't have these points of views, then you're like a bad person. I made a friend yesterday and he's walking by, he waved at me. So this guy that I've seen him around a lot, homeless guy, but he needed a ride to take a box of food that he'd gotten somewhere. Anyway, I gave him a ride yesterday. His name is Carlos, and he said he's from a country near Guam. I can't remember the name of the country. Guam itself, or not a country, like Guam and this island that he's from are still part of the U.S., I believe, but he's from an island that is near to Guam. So I told him last year when I was in the homeless shelter for a week, I met a woman from Guam, and I've been like trying to remember her name because we were kind of friends for a while, and like we've kind of fallen out of touch. Like, we would see each other here and there, and like, you know, like I saw her at Planet Fitness once or a few times, and like we hung out and got massages in the massage chairs at Planet Fitness together and chatted, and like we've chatted here and there, like when we run into each other, but I cannot for the life of me remember her name. I hate that. I hate it when I can't remember someone's name. And she has a name that like has a short version and a long version, because I remember her saying she doesn't like it when people call her by the long version because it feels like she's being scolded by her mom or something. But like, what is her name? I don't remember. Hi, Pavitra. I'm doing $5 readings, so it's a pretty good deal. You can pay for a reading if you want career guidance. Otherwise, I'm going to have to block you because you're flooding my live stream chat. So anyway, I saw a rainbow, so that was nice. Well, you don't have to trust me, but I can't have you coming here and like flooding my live stream chat, begging me for a free reading. How can I trust you when you feel entitled to a free reading? So at this point, don't pay for one because I'm not, you're right, you can't trust me. I'm not going to give you a reading. You've been rude to me. So this is the foot you want to start off on. $5 is not much. If you purchase a regular reading from me, it's $26. This is something I do to offer people very affordable readings. I also have lots of free content. So go watch that. That's free to watch. Go watch a pick a card reading about career. I'm trying to get her off. I don't know how to actually like totally remove her from where I'm at now, and I don't want to like. Okay. Okay, hide user on this channel. Okay. Yeah. I don't need to be dealing with that. Oy vey. Gee, hello Skypex, how are you? It's still feeling like a red letter day to me. Like that's not gonna ruin my day because I woke up in a good mood and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling be goat. I am gonna be the goat. With my Capricorn moon and Mars, I will be quite the goat. Thank you. You are the goat as well, Skypegs. I don't know what Mimra means. What does M-I-M-R-A mean? Momra? Mothra? Mothman? So I had this like movie scene that wrote itself in my head this morning, which was weird. Like all of a sudden I'm like seeing this visually in my head and like getting this dialogue. It's kind of funny. Like I feel like I could tell it kind of like a joke in a way, but I don't remember. I feel like I wish I could remember exactly what they were saying to each other because it was very funny, the back and forth. But it was like a mom and a son, like a teenage, like an older teenage son. And apparently he had a thing for a woman who was, I don't know, a woman of the streets or something, like a woman that his mom did not approve of. And he was like, but mom, you know, Jesus was in love with a prostitute. And she's like, I know you are not going to come at me with Jesus was a prostitute. She's like, are you telling me that you and Jesus are best friends and you sit around and talk about women together and you know that Jesus was in love with a prostitute? And he's like, well, I mean, it was in the Bible, you know, like, and she's like, you know who wasn't just in love with a woman but married her? Muhammad. And you know what kind of woman he married? A rich woman, a rich businesswoman. That's the kind of woman I want you to marry. So now we're going to be Muslim. I don't know. And he's like, Mom, you know, you have to fast if you're Muslim. And she's like, well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, it was funnier in my head. It was funnier in my head, but I still think it's kind of funny. Funny enough for me to share it. Skypex does not think it's funny. What is Isaac me China? People are just kind of in here being so random. Like, I thought I was random. My brain randomly wrote like a movie scene this morning. I thought it was quite hilarious. And then Instagram sorted me into Generation X, which I appreciate. There should be a sorting hat for that, you know? Like I'm a generational cusper, born in 1980, as I've already said. But what about what if you were like solidly born in a generation? Like what if I were born in 1975? Then I would be like solidly Generation X, right? According to the dates of when the generations are defined. But what if I didn't feel like a Generation X, you know? Because I think there are Generation Xers who feel like more like millennials or whatever. People don't always feel their age. They don't always like vibe with their generational cohort, if you will. Should people just know it for themselves? Like, you know, like, why do we even need a sorting hat? Like, when you go to Hogwarts, like, if you're a Slytherin, you should just know that you're a Slytherin. Know that shit for yourself. Know thyself. You know what I'm saying? I think I would be a Ravenclaw. Pretty sure I would be a Ravenclaw. It'd be like an annoying Ravenclaw. I would be a Ravenclaw. I would have friends with people from all of the houses. But I would be a Ravenclaw. I would definitely be getting access to the forbidden part of the library. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, the part of the library that you're not supposed to access. I would be accessing that, of course. I would be reading the Quibbler. I would be having that subscription to the Quibbler delivered right to my dorm room. If only the Quibbler really existed, I would still have a subscription to it, I think. Well, I don't know. It says there are 8 people watching. Nobody's talking, so I don't know what's going on. Sometimes this live stream, it messes up and people are talking to me and it's not coming through on my end. So I recently got this sweatshirt. You can't really see it. It has like a pink ombre effect. It goes from like, I guess, cream at the top down to a very light baby pink at the bottom, ombre. And it says, Death Valley, California, where I've never been. But I thought it was a cute shirt and it was cheap and it was on clearance. And I was like, I'll be able to wear this a few times before it gets too hot. And then recently we've had some like, recently we've had some kind of hot weather, or like it felt really hot versus the winter weather, you know. And I was like, oh damn, like I only got to wear my sweatshirt like twice. But then today it was chilly, so I put on this sweatshirt. I was gonna put my zip up hoodie jacket on, and I was like, wait, I could just put my sweatshirt on over my t-shirt and layer that way. My ears, by the way, are cold right now. It's just like a kind of like chilly, rainy day where I'm at. Where are you currently? I'm currently in Winchester, Kentucky, in the United States. I like Winchester for multiple reasons. Spiritually and metaphysically, I like Winchester because the name Winchester is connected to like supernatural phenomena. So there's that TV show with the Winchester brothers, which really I haven't watched much of. Hi, Hajira. But it's called Supernatural, right? And then there's Sarah Winchester, the heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, who built this like really weird house with all these like weird pathways. Oh, it's your 10th super on a live. That's really cool. Are you wanting to purchase a reading? Also in Winchester, there's this woman sometimes who walks up and down the main strip road, which is called Lexington Avenue, and she wears a cross around her back, and she just walks. I don't know what she's doing, but I don't know, like I like the vibe of Winchester. It's like people are weird here. They're kind of weird. Maybe that's a kind of Erie, Indiana vibe. Winchester, Kentucky. i.e. Erie, Indiana. Shout out in the comments if you remember that TV show. Erie, Indiana. I think you are Dakotan. I don't know what that means. Praise Jesus from South Carolina. Hello, Burnt Pasta. That's a cool name. I'm getting a lot of new people today that I don't think I've seen before. Currently single, so love reading would be good. Okay, so what are you wanting to know, just like in general, what's going to happen in your love life, guidance, all of the above? If there's a specific person you want to look into, let me know their name, because if you do want to learn about a specific person, don't be afraid to ask that. Because if you're just like, oh, I hope this specific person comes up in the reading, readings don't work that way. Spirit guides don't work that way. You kind of have to learn how to be direct. Okay, all of the above. Let me get my timer up here. So did you want, I'm not in Hampshire. I'm in the United States of America in a state called Kentucky. Did you want, so you purchased, did you want like a 20-minute reading, Hajira? I haven't started the timer yet, so don't worry. 5 is, okay. Well, it's 10 minutes, but 10 minutes for $5 or 20 minutes for 10, but this way we'll make sure we get everything covered. Okay. So what does Hajira need to know about her romantic love life? Start the timer now. Okay, so this is interesting. All right. So I'm getting the Queen of Pentacles, which is you, and I'm getting a King of Swords and also a Knight of Swords. And so I did some other card pulls down below, like to just clarify, because I'm trying to translate and understand what your spirit guides are saying. So this is just the process I go through. But they're saying, they're trying to help you understand the type of person that would be right for you. They feel like, you know, the type that maybe you would normally gravitate towards or think is right for you is represented by the King of Swords, but actually the type of person who would be right for you is the Knight of Swords. So it's not a huge difference, but there is a difference here. And I feel like what they're trying to highlight is the difference. The Knight of Swords would be, okay, let's start with the type of person that maybe you normally would think is right for you. Is represented by the King of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Wands. I know it gets confusing, but you're normally drawn to someone who probably feels very confident in their knowledge base, someone who prioritizes their intellect and shares their thoughts very freely. But someone who feels like they already have life figured out. Okay, you might try to go after someone who already has life figured out. Like, this is a solid, stable person who's got their life figured out and they think they know exactly what's right for them. Maybe you view this type of person as more grounded, but your spirit guides are wanting you. I know these are very similar energies, but slightly different. They feel like the right person would be the Knight of Swords clarified by the King of Wands. I know we've got swords and wands combined here in both types of people, but the difference here is this is someone who is still trying to figure their life out. So that's the big distinction. Instead of going for someone who's already got their life figured out, who already feels like they know exactly what their worldview or belief system or like, you know, I mean, all of that figured out, go for someone who's still trying to figure out their life, who's still willing to learn from experience. Yeah, that would be refreshing. Well, I'm glad it makes sense. I think it's an interesting, like, minor distinction. Tarot can be so intriguing sometimes. Yeah, because, like, what a strange, like, combination that came up. The King of Swords paired with the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Swords paired with the King of Wands. It's interesting. It could be a younger man, or just younger in their attitude in terms of, like, I'm still figuring out my life. Like, I don't have it all figured out. So tell me more about this type of person. I feel like the reason they're telling you that this type of person is better for you is because it would almost like put you more into a peace of mind yourself, that you don't have to have it all figured out. You know, like, none of us have to have it all figured out, but, like, it's refreshing to see someone else living their life in that way, because our own anxieties about, like, do I need to have my whole life figured out? Do I need to know exactly what my life is supposed to be? Or no, you know, okay, so you get me. All right. So anything else your spirit guides want to say about this part of it? So they're also saying we have 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands, and 8 of Cups reversed. They're saying also, don't be afraid to throw the fish back in the sea. You know, like, there are lots of options out here for you. Like, whether you see it that way or not, like, there are lots of potential people out here with the 7 of Cups. But it's kind of like, don't be afraid to throw them back either. Like, sometimes we can get so kind of fixated. We meet someone and we're like vibing with that person when we get so fixated on, well, this has to be the person. But they're encouraging you to be more willing to throw those fish back in the sea. You know what I mean? Just like window shop. Be more willing to window shop, I guess, and not feel so attached. Because, you know, like, you may meet someone who sounds like this, still trying to figure their life out type of person, and that's good. But, you know, because they're still trying to figure their life out as well, they may not be ready for what you are, or vice versa. Like, it does make it a little bit more difficult. You know, when you're with someone who's a little bit more of a free spirit, I guess, figuring out how to travel that road together with that person is more difficult, right? Because they could switch up which road they take. They could come to a crossroads and go a different direction that you're not wanting to take, or vice versa. So anyway, I feel like they're saying to hold it lightly. Maybe to even view it more as like temporary friendships that have a romantic component, rather than like, I need to meet someone and settle down with that person. Like, just being able to savor the moment of having a beautiful, loving connection with someone. I'm a very free spirit, but an old one. Yeah, so maybe that is, I mean, when you said something about a younger man, maybe, you know, like, maybe a younger man would satisfy that for you more. Or, it, you know, it doesn't always have to do with age specifically. Sometimes it's just with attitude, person having more of a younger, youthful attitude. Yeah, I feel like they're telling you more of the same thing here. Like, be willing to walk away. Don't get so attached to people. Because like, even if you met someone who wanted badly to settle down with you and they were trying to pursue that with you, you probably wouldn't even want it. And it's like, this could be happening a lot where you're wanting to settle down with someone and they seem evasive, or someone wants to settle down with you and you seem evasive. The reason for that is kind of like, at some level, you know, it's not, we have the King of Pentacles reverse. It's not really, it feels too confining to you in a way to quote unquote settle down. So like, be a free spirit, you know, make friends with people, enjoy the moment, enjoy the emotional connection. Anything else your spirit guides are wanting to say to you about your love life? This is an interesting message as well. They're telling you, you don't have to be with someone who your family would like or approve of. We get the 10 of Cups reversed. We get the Devil and the Justice. The person that's right for you may very well be someone that your family wouldn't like. And also, I think they're saying you don't have to introduce someone that you're with to your family either. It's like, basically, it's none of your family's business who you're romantically involved with. And they don't have to like the person, and you shouldn't be trying to choose someone based on who they would like either. Okay, so we've got, well, we've technically got a minute left, but because you spent $10, we can go longer than that if you need, if there are other questions. But yeah, before the timer goes off, definitely let me know, and then we'll, you know, we'll hash it out. Because I'm asking your spirit guides, like, is there anything else on their end that they want to say about this? Let's see if they have any predictions, I guess. Are there any predictions for her coming up in her love life? So I'm getting a strong no for that as well, with 3 cards reversed. But if you have other specific questions, feel free to ask. But I would say, to summarize, look for someone who's still trying to figure their life out, rather than someone who thinks they already have their life all figured out. And they don't have to be someone that your family would like, and you don't have to even introduce them to your family. And be willing to throw the fish back and part ways when it's time to part ways. You know, don't try to make every connection that you have be a lasting one or to settle down. I'm glad it helps. Thank you so much, Hajira. Oh, Jaded Kate. Perfect timing. Okay. Thank you, Hajira. I really appreciate that. Okay, Jaded Kate. Ilja's thoughts and feelings for me, please, and advice on this connection. Is Ilja a man or a woman? I just want to make sure I use, and this, is this like someone you're interested in a romantic sense? So I just want to make sure. Okay. Let me see which deck. Sometimes I feel like drawn to switching up the deck a little bit. I'm going to give it a good shuffle before I start the timer. Perfect timing, Jaded Kate. Okay. All right, starting the timer now. So, wanting to know about Ilja's thoughts and feelings and advice on this connection. Is it karmic or something significant? Okay. So first of all, he is the sun. The shared energy is the 6 of Wands, and you are the Hanged Man. So I feel like, first of all, this connection is one where there's a very enjoyable mutual attention. Like you both really like getting attention from each other. The shared energy, Six of Wands, like it makes you feel special. Like, oh wow, this is great that this person is taking an interest in me, sort of. I would say it brings Ilja a lot of happiness with the Sun card, and to you it brings you happiness as well, but it's like it helps you to understand more about, I would say it helps you to see yourself more clearly and give you more self-confidence, to realize things about yourself that maybe you didn't, about like, oh yeah, I'm like a special person. I'm someone who would, who Ilja would see as an equal or something. I don't know. It seems like it helps both of you to feel sort of special in a way. I do think in terms of his thoughts and feelings, we have the Sun card clarified by the Moon card. I would say that he does view you, whether he would use this term or not, but I would say he views you as a soulmate, because the Sun and the Moon are classic like soulmate energies. I think on your end, maybe you're still trying to figure it out more. I mean, obviously you asked the question, you're wanting to know what kind of connection it is, but like, I think you are more uncertain about what the connection is. He feels like you're a soulmate. He feels like you're a soulmate, but at the same time, it's almost like, I would say he feels like maybe he's not ready for it. Wow, he definitely, we have the Lovers, the Sun and the Moon. He definitely feels like you're a soulmate, but there's something here where, does he feel like he's not ready or he's not worthy? Is it that he's not ready? He feels unworthy of having someone like you in his life. He feels unworthy of this soulmate experience, but that's what it is to him. It is a soulmate, like you are my divine counterpart. Again, I don't know if he would use this terminology or not. I'm just saying like that's what it feels like to him. It's like that level of fuzzy wuzzy lovey, you know? You are my divine counterpart, but I am unworthy. That's what he's feeling here. So I do feel, because he feels unworthy, the World card reversed, it does kind of hold him back sometimes from really taking a lot of action towards you. It's almost like, because the Four of Pentacles can be a sort of holding pattern, you know, like someone who's just, they're stuck. They're not really doing anything to change or develop the situation. It's because he feels this sort of unworthiness, but he does feel, it does still make him happy, you know, to have this connection with you, and it makes him feel confident. I gotta itch my nose. I'll do that off camera. Okay, anything more about his thoughts and feelings? Yeah, I mean, this is life-changing. I do not sugarcoat or like exaggerate readings, but we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Tower card, and the Two of Cups. Like what the cards are saying is the answer, you know. And like sometimes people get very lackluster answers. Sometimes it's like the spirit guides are like very dramatically like, this is a life-changing experience to him, you know. I feel like however it was that you entered his life, it was life-changing. Like, and I think he knew from very early on. We have the Tower card and the Two of Cups. Like it feels almost like a love at first sight type of experience. Like he knew that there was something very special from the beginning. Like it set his soul afire in a sort of way. Like it totally changed his approach to life. It definitely made him happy. He's like, oh, this is great. This is what love is. This is what people are talking about when they're talking about love. This is what it is. This is amazing. Anything else about how he's feeling? I think he does feel, you know, like I said, he does feel unworthy, but also he feels sort of like, he feels like you're a bit of a live wire. He's seeing you as a combination Queen of Swords and Queen of Wands, which is a very independent woman, someone who lives life on her own terms. And I would say that that does make him feel a little bit wary in a sense of, because, you know, it makes him feel like what is the potential here? Like, would she even want to settle down? Like, could I trust her to want to stay with me, you know, or would she get bored? You know what I mean? Okay, how will it develop? How is this going to develop? So we have a progression here, the Eight of Pentacles, which is where you are now, and then going forward, the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Ace of Wands reversed. It does feel like a sort of, it's going to develop like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like right now it does feel like maybe the two of you are beginning to understand your love for each other in a more grounded way with this Eight of Pentacles. Like, yeah, I would say like you're both understanding the gravity of your feelings for each other at the moment. Going forward, we have the Eight of Swords. It's, again, it just feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because like you're feeling like you understand each other. You're feeling like, oh, we could have a mature type of love. And then going forward, it feels kind of like we're walking on eggshells. We still love each other. It's not like we stopped loving each other. I don't know. I don't know if I really feel it becoming a relationship. Yeah, I mean, the final card combination is the Ace of Wands reversed with the Three of Swords. Like, I don't really see the two of you really getting together and settling down. I do feel like that's what he would want. I will say that. He would ideally want that. So like I said, I don't sugarcoat my reading, so this part of it is not as it's not as positive, if you will, as what we were getting in terms of his feelings. The advice to you, though, is the Chariot, the Empress, and the Six of Cups. So I feel like the advice to you is to continue to keep your heart open to him and allow yourself to be loved by him and allow your heart to feel what it feels. So feel what you feel. You know, allow yourself, definitely know how much he loves you. It is important for you to understand how much this man loves you. Yeah, and then we have the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. He is, and the Lovers, when I cut the deck, Lovers again. This man is in love with you. And even though it may not develop very well, why do your spirit guides want you to know so much that he does love you? I think because basically it is life-changing for both of you. For you, it does open up greater ideas and understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. In some sort of sense, I feel that he does trigger this in you for you to see yourself more fully, you know, to see what you're capable of, kind of. And increase your confidence in what you can do in the world or something. So know that he does love you. We've got 20 seconds left. You'd also asked what type of love connection it is, and we get the Eight of Pentacles. So I do kind of feel like this guy, this is a soulmate connection. Your souls have come together in this lifetime to help each other, basically. But help each other doesn't necessarily mean we're going to settle down and get married. You know what I mean? But you are here to sort of support and encourage each other just through like meeting each other and having, you know, having a connection, right? So I would say it is a soulmate connection. That's what I would call it. All right, so the timer has gone off. A Gray, my girl got arrested this morning, 3rd DUI in 6 months. Should I stick with it or run? Is she for me? So if you want a reading, it's only $5. You can pay via SuperChat or SuperSticker. I would say just as general advice, like, I don't know, maybe go to, what is it called? Al-Anon meeting, you know, like to cope with having a personal relationship with someone who is actively in addiction in like a very self-destructive way. Like, I mean, if you feel like you need support for that, an Al-Anon meeting could be helpful. Because ultimately you can't make her choices. You're very welcome, Jaded Kate. You can't make her choices for her, but 3rd DUI in 6 months to a year. So yeah, I mean, she's just not making great choices, you know. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick while we've got a break in. I will be right back. It'll be like, what time is it? 12:26. By 12:30 I should be back, probably. It doesn't take that long, but I do need to go pee. I'm back. Yep, 12:29. I said I would be back by 12:30. And I was right. Because it's very rainy today. When I get in and out, I put a towel in the floor. This is like my living room. So I have this cute little cozy yellow rug. But I put a towel down on top of it so that when I get in, I can wipe my feet off, and then I pick the towel up and put it over here to hang so it can dry out a little bit. It's not raining at this exact moment, but the ground is still wet. It has been raining a lot, like torrents and torrents of rain. Now the light on, there's a lot, light is, it was not reflecting like this before, but somehow the light is reflecting on the screen now in such a way that it's hard for me to see. Well, will this help? You see my visor. I'm glad we got that in the live stream. Okay. I get cozy with my blankie. Well, I hope everyone is having, hello Deschart, I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. So we just done, so we did a Jaded Kate and we did Hijira. I'm not sure why there's like a reflection on the screen with the way the light is reflecting. It's hard to see. It wasn't like that before. Or maybe I just wasn't noticing it. I don't know. I wish it would not be that way though. It's making me feel like I have vision problems. That's better. Okay. SuperChat is not available for me, unfortunately. Well, you can always purchase a SuperSticker. It's always a possibility. Man, my nose keeps itching. I'm going to do this. People randomly scrolling past. You're going to see this. Yeah, a SuperSticker. You can purchase it for $5. If you purchase a SuperSticker, that would also count as a payment for a reading. A SuperSticker. Well, Sometimes this road can get like loud. When I've live streamed here before, there are people going by being real loud, but maybe because it's a Sunday and it's during the day, people are quieter, and also it's rainier. I don't know. Knock on wood. It feels like chiller vibes, you know. It's not like this is a real like cantankerous, hostile area, but it's like people like will be gunning their engines and stuff when they go by here. But I was going to go park at a park today and live stream from there, but the porta potties at that park were in not good condition, and I was just like, no, they're probably set to be cleaned tomorrow, the porta potties. Like this is gross, but like I think what they do is like they basically suction out everything that's inside of it, and then they put more of that blue liquid in and then refill the toilet paper. That seems to be what the porta potty maintenance involves, from what I have observed. And it's due at this park. It would have been quieter at the park than here, but I don't think it's that loud today, so I can pay you on PayPal, but you won't have a way to know. Yeah. Right. I used to do that, but that was when I had a laptop. I don't have a laptop, so I can't be simultaneously. There's not a way for me to see your payment. It's not that I don't trust you, but it's just easier for me this way. I also don't have my PayPal link in the description anyway, so I just don't have it set up for that. Yeah. You should be able to purchase a SuperSticker though, so I don't know why that's not coming up for you as an option. My nose just keeps itching. But I also do readings on Keen.com, and so they take multiple payment options, and I mean, if you're just looking for a cheaper reading, Keen is pay per minute, so it is cheaper than, like, if you can't afford the $26 readings on my website. Yeah, there's a link in the description box, Keen.com, to my profile on there. You can do like phone and chat readings. Yeah, you can look and see when I'm logged on and available. So yeah, it'll show if I'm available. Right now I'm not going to be available because I'm here doing a live stream. But I'm on Keen a lot. My ears get cold sometimes. What should we talk about, folks? I used to think about, like back when my channel was still kind of new, about doing some sort of Sunday service, but I never got around to it. Like doing that on my channel, I feel like that's too much pressure. Like I wouldn't be able to come up with something to say every week anyway. Let's see if our spirit guides have a spiritual message for us, though. It's Sunday. We need to renew our spirits. Spirit guides, what do we need to know? Help us to renew our spirits. My nose keeps itching. It's a problem. We have the Six of Cups. I feel like, you know, based on the imagery and what the Six of Cups normally means, our spirit guides want to talk to us about why does love so often make us feel sort of drained or in a sort of emotional swampiness. You like to hang out in your car, that's great. It's like we have these little cups with locks on them. Like why when love gets unlocked, love between ourselves and another person, why does it bring an ennui, I guess is the word. I don't know what's a synonym for ennui, but it's like a sort of swampy emotional space, or like it can be a sort of, I don't know, it's sort of like a draining or kind of an empty, like why does love do that? Our spirit guides want to talk about that. For one thing, it comes from overthinking. So we open our heart to someone, our heart becomes engaged regarding someone, and we get too much in our mind. There's so much mental chatter. You know, the heart and the mind become at odds with each other. The heart just wants to feel, right? Simple. But the mind is like, well, it can't be that simple. It can't be as simple as just having an open heart or having feelings. The mind is viewing it as, I have an emotional connection and that is a problem to be solved. But our spirit guides are saying the more that we get stuck in our mental chatter, trying to find a solution to this emotional dilemma of, oh, I have feelings for someone, that's when we start to get into that ennui, the stagnant emotional swamp, if you will. And it's like then we start to crave and need more emotional validation. You know, it's kind of like having a leak in your tank in your car or something. There was no problem to be solved. Your heart felt something for someone. Your heart felt a connection to someone. That's not a problem to be solved. Your mind was convinced it was a problem to be solved. And while the mind is tinkering around with the heart, it opens up and causes a drainage or causes a leakage emotionally, so you can't get emotionally filled. Now, if you could have just accepted, I have love for someone, they have love for me, there's a loving connection to someone, we both have feelings, just accepting that and riding the wave of that would have been great. But instead, your mind got in the way, started tinkering around with its mental over-analysis tools and broke something. So now you're leaking, you're having an emotional leakage, and You're having emotional leakage, and it's causing you to need more emotional stimulation, if you will. And then you need more. It just becomes this sort of catch-22. You need more emotional stimulation, and then your brain is like, okay, now there's more emotional stimulation. It's even more of a problem to solve. What are all these emotions? My brain can't make sense of all these emotions. And then you cause an even bigger drainage issue, and then it's like you need more and more emotional validation. You're pouring. It's like you're swimming around in a leaking boat. Enough will never be enough. I think this is interesting that our spirit guides are bringing this up, because I think that sometimes, well, I know that we can, all of us, get addicted, for example, to seeking emotional validation, sometimes through tarot readings, even like, how does this person feel? Do they love me? You know, like, sometimes it can never be enough confirmation. It can never be enough validation. We have turned our hearts into a boat with a leak in it, and we're getting emotional drainage because our brain is causing a hole in the boat. Okay, so what? So I think that your spirit guides, our spirit guides, are saying, we have the Ace of Wands and the World. The better thing to do, if you start to feel like I have feelings for someone, is to put that, so your heart has opened up, put that heart energy to work. And that would be more, to create an extended metaphor, like putting an engine at the back of a boat. Rather than putting a hole in the boat with mental over-analysis, put that heart energy to use. Like, make it, allow that heart energy to motivate you to do positive things. Like, right? To go out and embrace the world and embrace all there is to do. You know what I mean? To be inspired, Ace of Wands in the World. To go out and meet your full potential. Like, let it be fuel for you instead of a drainage. That's the better use of heart energy, rather than to see it as a mental problem to be solved. Intriguing. What kind of car do you have, Dish Art? Mine is a Chrysler Pacifica, 2006. Does anybody watched any good movies lately? I have such a struggle sometimes getting into movies. So it's always a pleasure when I do find one that I can really focus on enough to watch it completely. Recently I watched a Nancy Drew movie. Can't remember the name of it, but it has Emma Roberts, I think that's her name, starring Nancy Drew. That was a cute movie. And I watched Titanic, which was nice to watch. Like, I'm liking watching comfort movies, movies that for whatever reason are not overly challenging to me. Why would a movie be challenging to me? I don't know. I need a movie to be interesting and like to chill me out. And then I watched She's All That. But I don't know what else to watch. Also on YouTube right now, Pee Wee's Herman, or the Pee Wee Herman Show, is free. I watched the first episode. It was like an interesting moment of nostalgia, or like reminding me of, it's an interesting show. Pee-wee's Playhouse, that's what it's called. I couldn't get into it enough to keep watching the episodes though, but there are lots of free episodes of it on YouTube for anyone who's interested. Well, I guess people are not really feeling the live stream today. Sometimes it's hopping in here and sometimes it's not. I guess that's just how life goes. Hello, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Just having a kind of drizzly, rainy day where I am at. How are things where you are today? Well, I love you too. What about your upstairs neighbor? Is causing such a racket? Oh well, LOL. I'm sorry. That happens. Things are pretty quiet here in my neck of the woods right now, which is nice. To reduce noise, I do not know what you could do. Soundproofing. Yeah, I mean, there are probably soundproofing materials you could put up on the ceiling. I mean, that's kind of an extreme thing to have to do, though. I hope it's not that bad. Yeah, maybe you can find something that you could put on the ceiling to buffer the noise that's easy to install. And that would be my goal. Like, it needs to be easy to install and not like look really weird or like off-putting. Yeah, it would cost. Yeah, that's the thing too. I had a neighbor once. I was on the second floor actually, and so she was beneath me. And luckily, she moved out shortly after I moved in. But she was like, her son would play basketball in the house. Like, he's downstairs bouncing a basketball through the apartment. So loud. And like, I would be so patient. Like, I would like, and I would try to be quiet. Like, I'm the upstairs neighbor. So when I'm walking across the apartment, I try to step lightly. You know what I mean? And one day I was pulling something out of the freezer. It was like some ground meat that I had frozen, and it fell on the floor. And she like banged back. Like she was so angry that I made a noise, and I yelled and cursed her out. I'm like, you are always making so much noise, and like I accidentally dropped something on the floor and like you freak out over it. She moved out shortly after that, thankfully. And people just kept coming and going from that apartment beneath me as well. But phew, I was like, what is the, I mean, are you not aware that your son is playing basketball in the apartment like almost every day? Like banging that basketball, and like you don't think that that is noisy? And then I dropped something on the floor. Like the thing is too, like I had been up to that point like really going out of my way. Yeah, like bouncing a basketball. It's loud. Even though they were beneath me, like it was very loud. Oh, he's also playing ball? That's what your neighbor is doing? That's awful. Yeah, and if he's above you, then it's going to be even louder. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I hope that you were able to figure out some sort of solution. Maybe he'll move out. Let's pray that he'll move out. You complained twice. Yeah. I don't know if you're interested in doing spell work, but there are spells you can get to make people vacate or leave. Whether or not they actually work, I don't know, but anyway, I'm hoping on your behalf that he just moves out and then you get someone quieter. Yeah, that would be great. Gosh. And then I had another neighbor at my previous apartment. I still run into her sometimes. She's really sweet. We actually we're more congenial to each other now that I don't live there than when I did. But she had like 5 cats. And they would all be outside, which my cat would get scared and not want to go outside because there were all these other cats. But anyway, I did love those cats. I am a cat person, and they were very sweet and lovable. And she just collected cats, and they mostly would stay outdoors. They would sometimes come inside, but like these cats kind of ruled the roost outdoors. They had their little spots that they like to lay out in. And can I say Darcy? I'm getting such random stuff today. I feel like I'm getting trolled. Koala girl, explain yourself. Why do you want me to say that? I'm like going into like, are you gonna like video record me saying someone's name and then use it somehow online? Like, are you trying to steal my identity? Yeah, 5 cats. There were lots. She kind of collected strays. I feel like there was an issue. But they were real sweet. Well, one of them was pretty sweet and sour, actually, but like I really liked him. His name was Baby. He was like the head honcho cat of this cat gang, this gang of cats. And then there was one who, it was a stray baby, and it came up to my door a couple of times, and I heard it outside crying, and I opened the door and I didn't see it. And then it did that again, and this was like, it was cold, and it was still a baby at that time, and it was crying, and I opened the door and I gave it some food, and it kept coming back to ask for food. But like that cat I was still there for like over a year as that cat grew up. And it finally got to the point where it would sometimes let me pet it just a little bit, but it was always very skittish. Like, that was an all black cat. Very smart, but like did not want to be domesticated, did not want to be an indoor cat at all. It was almost like terrified of that happening. Had a very independent spirit. But anyway, a real sweet cat. Are you allowed to have animals where you live, Dishart? Not inside. I've even gone back and visited those cats since I left that apartment. They're little sweethearts. This is the first time in an apartment. Where were you living before, like in a house or where? Feels like neighbor issues follow you everywhere you go. Yeah, maybe someday you'll get to live somewhere where you don't have neighbors like that, or like that maybe you can have your own space or something where the neighbors aren't right up close to you. I grew up in a place like that out in the country. There's like, there's space between houses. You still have neighbors, like you can see other people's houses from where you live, but it's more spread out just because it's way out in the country. Even when you were in a house, you had neighbor issues. Yeah, it can definitely happen. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Yeah, they should. Maybe it's just like they should come up with better construction technology for like soundproofing things, so that that's not as big of an issue. Like, why isn't there better soundproofing in construction methodologies? That would be helpful, huh? There was someone who would, this was like a nice noise that I would hear sometimes. Someone would play like the saxophone. Isn't that random? I don't know who it was. Someone in my apartment complex. They would play the saxophone. It was like such an ambiance. Like, the saxophone, huh? It was like a real nice ambiance. Like, I don't know how to explain what the ambiance was of this saxophone, but it's just like a sort of distant, soothing sound of saxophone. It was very soothing. It was chillaxing saxophone. I cannot play any instruments. I tried to teach myself guitar once when I was younger, which was, that was my first mistake, teaching myself guitar. I had this little book, just like to learn guitar, but like the guitar I had, I don't even know where it came from. There was this random, like, it was a child's guitar too. It wasn't like a normal size guitar. I mean, it wasn't a toy guitar, but it was a guitar that was made for a child. Like, it was smaller than a regular guitar. And it wasn't even tuned. Like, it probably needed new strings. The strings were like, hi, Sigma. I'm not ignoring you. I'm talking. But anyways, yeah. So I didn't know how to tune it. But I was trying to learn how to play the guitar from reading this book, how to play guitar. Anyway, I should have gotten lessons or something. But like, I do feel even from that, like, experiment with trying to learn guitar, like, I just don't have like the finger coordination really. You want to learn violin? That is a beautiful instrument. What instrument would I want to learn if I could learn? I mean, maybe it would just be guitar, right? Guitar would really come in handy. I do a lot of songwriting, and I think guitar would be like a pretty good instrument to learn for my songwriting. Yeah. I'm in the United States. Where are you from, Sigma? Piano, yeah. I mean, I can play the piano a little bit. Like, I probably, if I really tried, maybe I could learn piano, because I remember when we were kids, I was raised mostly by my aunt and uncle. Sometimes we would visit my uncle's mom's house, and she had a piano there with these piano books. And I could kind of like play like the simpler songs, so maybe I could learn piano if I really put forth an effort to do it. I just never had lessons in anything like that. You're in India. I hope things are going well there for you. Yeah, it would not be easy to have a piano in my car. I could have maybe a keyboard, but even that, like, there's just not a lot of space for much of anything. A keyboard would be doable, and then, of course, it would need power, so... Oh, okay. Well, I hope you have a good night's rest. I hope your neighbor is quiet while you're sleeping, and that you get some good sleep, restful sleep. Take care as well. Hello to everybody watching. If anyone wants a reading, they're only $5. Doesn't seem like there are too many takers. I had 2 people who wanted a reading. Do you want a free reading, Sigma? I forgot that I was going to like copy the Spud Brothers and give a free reading at the beginning and the end of every live stream. So now that I've remembered, I'll give you a free reading. You're putting your ear up, huh? What do the spirit guides want to say to the person who is Sigma? They're saying, we have Temperance, the Lovers, and the King of Wands. They're saying you should treat the ones you love more delicately instead of feeling that you need to be in charge of everything all the time. That is the answer to you. That's not how a reading works. I gave you your reading. Your spirit guides say you should treat more carefully the ones you love because your ego is taking too much control here. And it's going to chase people away, which is not the effect that you want to have. At some point, it will become a burden to you as you chase more and more people away from you. Well, I see what's going to happen. I see what road you're traveling, yes. And your spirit guides are giving you advice so you can avoid that. So the future is something that we can largely navigate. We may not be able to navigate everything that happens to us, but here they're saying this is something you can navigate. So what did I say? What was the guidance from your spirit guides about what you should change in order to have a better outcome? Because the way that you're acting right now, you're going to end up burning a lot of bridges. And maybe it doesn't mean anything to you now that you're burning these bridges, but eventually it will feel like quite the burden. That you won't be able to continue to pull people back into your life or pull new people into your life. Right now, maybe it seems like people are endless, right? That won't always be the case. There won't always be an endless supply of people being willing to put up with your behavior. So treat the ones you love more delicately and more sweetly so that you don't end up with that fate. Right? Do you understand? All right, I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream.